Hey guys, what's up? Easy coming back at you guys with yet another Transformers video review, and this time around we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers Combiner Wars Menasor set with the Perfect Effect add-on upgrades and a Shapeways add-on set, as well as a non-off shoulder lock. So basically I went through absolute hell getting this video prepped and ready to go, and I've had these parts for quite some time, so yeah. Can you tell I'm not looking forward to this really? But bearing all that in mind, we have Breakneck, aka Wild Rider, Dead End, Blackjack, Motor Master, Dragstrip, and Breakdown. So the only one that really didn't get his original name was Breakneck, aka Wild Rider, because, well, it's Wild Rider. So bearing all this in mind, this is actually my favorite Decepticon Combiner team, and bearing this in mind, I am deeply disappointed in this set. Even with the perfect effect add-ons, even with the non-off shoulder locks, and even with this little perfect effect, or not perfect effect, Shapeways kit that I bought, which I have the Rodimus set too. You know, it's the same. Like, you know, if you've seen my Rodimus, or if you've seen my Ultra Prime video, you know what this is. So yeah, a lot of it is just basically a rehash of what we've already seen. So, bearing this in mind, let's get right down to it, and let's talk about the main differences with each figure. Blackjack is a straight repaint, so it's the exact same figure. This pops off, and you get the drill. So popping that off and flipping him to robot mode real quick. There we go. He's a robot. Now, the set, how it works for Rodimus is you would pull this apart. This will slide onto the back, and you would have the figure hold this, and that would be the Rodimus mode. For Blackjack, it's actually different. You pull this apart, and you have him hold this by the barrel of the gun, and then you take this, and it's a very loose connection, but you slot it in here, and he gets an even bigger axe. And I think that's a pretty neat way to differentiate the two. It's definitely something that I really do, and it's enjoyable to fart around with this. And of course this splits into the two pieces to put him into combine mode the exact same way it did before. So no worries there. And of course, yeah, loose connections. There's no way I can say that this is a dud entirely because of the fact that this could just as easily just be me not doing something right, or just the way it was manufactured. The mine could have been just the hole could have been slightly too big, because I mean the Rodimus parts are actually even worse than this. So bearing that in mind, let us move on to the boss himself, Motor Master. Now this is where you see most of the differences as far as this whole setup goes. Right, just bam, already, like, just like Optimus, he's the same truck, only he is heavily, like, aside from this leg section right here and the feet, I even think he's got different wheels too. Oh no, okay, the wheels too. Other than the wheels and this whole leg section, I believe the whole leg section. Yeah, the whole leg section. Sorry, I should have been prepared for this. But yeah, basically, this whole front section is totally new molding. And it really helps to differentiate the two. And as you can clearly already see, you know, what I really like about his Perfect Effect set is that if you have the Perfect Effect hands and feet for Menasor, and you got the Perfect Effect add-on set, which gave him the breastplate and the new head, you basically can incorporate everything into Motormaster's truck mode. And this is freaking cool. I really like this. This is, like, this ultimately I think is the biggest payoff here, where the new add-on parts carry over into the robot, and it's really, really nice. And also you end up getting, I should have pulled this apart, but, you know, I'm not showing it off much, but here is the new gun in comparison to the dagger and blaster that you get with Motormaster. So yeah, all those combine to make a bigger sword. You get the drill. Bearing all this in mind, transformation is pretty much exactly the same, only there's more to it with this giant bit. So you gotta pull the feet off, flip up this little connector, set it to the side, and of course, as much as I love this set, it's not perfect. It is the, like, Perfect Effect is the furthest thing from perfect. Let's just put it that way. I mean, you know, putting these the gun handles on ball joints, my very first time plugging these on and trying to pull them off, I yanked them off right off the ball joint. And it was not a fun experience, let's just say that. So we got all the guns off. So now we just gotta fold this up. And he transforms exactly the same way as Optimus does. You gotta get in here, kind of pull these out, flip this forward. That's literally the only new step. So kind of get underneath here, pull this apart, all this rotates around like this. Fold this around, fold this around, and then kind of come down here, pull his legs down like this. And in theory, this is supposed to stay attached to his back. And fold his feet up and then split his legs. Yeah, this set makes him extremely back heavy, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get him transformed the rest of the way and then get this tripod set up better. There we go. That should be somewhat better. Basically, this is supposed to fold up, stay attached to his back, and to alleviate some of the back issues, this folds around and tabs into the sides like that, which evenly distributes the weight. And there is Motormaster in robot mode. And you can already tell this is a really, like, I really dig the robot. It, like, just the sheer amount of difference from him and Optimus. Matter of fact, I kind of have Optimus in his combiner mode for very not so obvious reasons. So let me just get him flipped back to his regular robot, so we can see all of the differences. I don't plan to get Optimus's combiner mode or Perfect Effect add-on sets, even though I really like what they did with the feet, where it's a very Optimus Prime-esque foot mode, but then all of a sudden they made it for the white Prime and just whatever. Here is Optimus, and you can clearly see even the the forearms have different molding on it. The chest is a totally new piece. The head's a new piece. Just everything about this, just everything about Motormaster is completely different from Optimus. Including when you buy the non-offset, you get these weird shoulder things that just look weird in the robot mode. I definitely feel they could have done something with this to where it looks better in robot mode. And he's got this giant backpack. I admit, even though I'm really glad that they decided to incorporate the set to the robot, or to the robot and the vehicle, it suffers a little bit from it. But, you know, I can live with it because most of it just ends up on the back. You know, it's not a visual eyesore. Especially when you buy the non-off set where it kind of covers most of the, most of what you're looking at here. Now, of course, also, he gets a new gun, so that fits in his hand. And you can have him hold two guns if you so desire, and then have him have his other gun have a bayonet on it because reasons. You know, you can definitely do that if you so desire. And yeah, there you go. There is the, Motor Master. Now, moving on to... let's do Wild Rider first, because I want to get a few things squared away with him. One, mine kind of has a bit of an issue with this piece, but that's probably just due to a QC issue. Two, the way this works is due to the way it transforms. Come on, okay, you know, fine, I'll just split it in half. Like said, it opens up. But when you plug it back together and then flip this peg out, you can peg it on top of Wild Rider, and you know you could basically do this with Breakdown and Dead End as well, where it gives them the G1 over the hood guns. This was a nice touch. I definitely dig this. I thought like this was a hidden little Easter egg that I didn't discover until like near the end of 2015. I'm not even gonna lie. So yeah, let's flip the combiner port out just in case for when we get him ready for combiner mode. And Wild Rider is essentially the same thing as the Streetwise mold as well as Prowl. It's basically the same figure. You know what we're getting into. Let's just flip this open, and you can see right there that is a massive stress mark, and I don't see any structural breakage. So I could fix this, but at the same time I'm a little frightened too because that's pretty bad. Anyways, yeah, he transforms exactly the same as any other version of this mold. I'll flip this around. Flip this around. Flip this up. I still don't get the point of the ratcheted hands, but okay. Stand up, man. Stand up. And there we have Wild Rider. The Wild Rider looks cool. You know, he definitely looks cool. He can use the Perfect Effect add-on set, the feet as weapons, because like I showed off before, it splits in half, becomes miniguns that he can underslung or plug onto his shoulders. You know, it's a neat trick, but it's not really worth showing off twice because it's the same exact pieces. So, yeah. With that said, here's Wild Rider, and the difference between him and Dead End solely is color and a new head. And this new head, let me zoom in on this real quick. That is an awesome new head. That screams Wild Rider. And I don't know why, but mine's got a little purple scuff right there. Oh, whatever. Oh well. But yeah, there you go. There's Wild Rider, and just wow. I love that head. So yeah. The articulation is exactly the same. I'm pretty sure I don't need to go over the articulation with these guys, like, at all. So putting Wild Rider back there and getting a look at Dead End. And it's essentially the same figure as he knocks Blackjack over because he believes that, you know, we're all gonna die anyway, so what's the point in even trying? Yeah, he's the emo one of the group. But, you know, the vehicle mode is pretty decent. I wholeheartedly expected Dead End when I had Off-Road to be my favorite of this entire set. That my favorite ended up being Breakdown for reasons I will explain. And here are my reasons. I have no problems with the vehicle mode. The vehicle mode is freaking awesome. It was when I transformed him when I realized how many friggin' issues this mold had. And you fold this up. Now, again, you know, same general transformation. And do I really need to go over this? How this mold transforms like a? Let me think. What, a fourth time? Yeah, no thanks. And I already know for a fact that I'm gonna have to show this transformation off a fifth time when I review the wave. I want to say 6 Autobots. You know, the wave with Hound, Smokescreen, all them. Yeah. Anyways, moving on. There is Dead End, and he looks all sorts of cool. I really dig the robot, but here was the problem with it. Mine was loose as hell. And that's just due to me, and a lot of that was due to me actually physically checking the hell out of him, because I did hit him up with some floor polish, super glue, I forget what I used, but I hit him up with that, and the arm mode would not stay together worth a damn, but I used super glue to fix that. And just, yeah, I will definitely be going over how putting his combined mode together over once I actually get around to it. Drag strip, you guys already know how I feel about this figure. So let's just get right down to it and turn him into a robot so he can look proper with his team. I loved drag strip in Wave 1. I still love this figure to this day. It's just that I had already reviewed him by himself, and I cheated and showed off the combined mode. So you already know how his arm mode is going to transform, so you get the picture. Drag strip, yay! Let's move on. Now, Breakdown. Once again, it's a figure I have already... These are all basically molds I've already reviewed, but I get to talk about them as different characters. And here is Breakdown. That's dumb. That's really dumb. It is. I'm sorry, but it is. Otherwise, you know, like, he's coming off on camera as bone white. He's actually a nice creamy color. And other than that, there's really not much else to really go over with the vehicle mode. It's a Lamborghini. A Lamborghini? I want to say Lamborghini. Is it a Lamborghini or a Ferrari? I don't know. I can't think of it at the moment. And yeah, clearly enough, mine's got some paint splotches right there, but whatever. It's nothing too bad. Transformation. You flip this up. Again, it's a transformation we've already seen via Sunstreaker. You can fold this all down. Split this. And I don't believe I mentioned this, but basically, for those of you who have this figure and have noticed that he is a very, like, just the hips are a really strange setup of a, like, let's get him in a robot mode first. His hips are set up in a really strange way, and somewhat because of that, he ends up with really loose hips. This is actually a really easy remedy. All you gotta do is twist him at the waist, just kind of get everything out of the way, and once you have it to about there, wherever the hell I put my screwdriver, whatever. You basically take your Phillips head screwdriver and you tighten that screw, and it actually stiffens these joints right up. And if you, like, when you, like, it's not a permanent fix. If you play with this figure in its robot mode a lot, it will loosen back up. But if it definitely did prove to be an issue, there you go, there's a possible fix. And there's Breakdown in robot mode, and I really like the look of this. Of course, the way they had his chest set up, I thought he was gonna be I thought he was gonna get remold. I thought he was gonna be picked to be Prowl. But I'm so glad that that wasn't the case. Bearing that in mind, there we go. Move on. And there they all are together as a group in their robot modes. And whoops. There they all are all together as a group. It's a nice group. I will definitely admit that. I do have off-road, but my off-road is going to be used for other purposes, for reasons. Like, basically, I can't really put those reasons into full motion because, well, I need to kill him off in evolutions. And so he needs to stay as off-road for a little while. Anyways, bearing all this in mind, let's move on to the one bit that disappointed me the most. This is not going to end well, is it? Alright, let's start with the easy stuff first. Let's go to Blackjack. Blackjack. Same thing as Rodimus. Flipping back to vehicle. Flipping back to vehicle mode. Split this in half. The gun plugs on the bottom. And then this piece. Actually, I think I have him like this. Yeah, I have him like this. Yeah, I have him like this. And so, yeah, there we go. Now, there he is as a chest piece. Let's move him to the side. And let's work with the big guy first. Well, also, first things first, let's put the sword together. Oh, come on. There we go. Whoa. Jeez. Almost straight smacked the well, okay, I did smack the... Y'all know what happened. You saw it happen. Yeah, I'm doing this right. So, this piece plugs in here. And, yeah. This plugs in up here. And there is his Harbinger of Death. This looks badass. With that said, let's move on to him. And he basically turns into torso mode in a completely different way. Basically what you're going to do is you're going to turn him around. You're going to pop this piece and you're going to let it fall. Get his arms out of the way because it's actually significantly easier. Flip his head back in. Open this up. Flip his new head up. And this thing is so loose on the ball joint, it's not even funny. And so this comes up. And basically what you gotta do is you gotta lay the waist out like this. Because this is all going to wrap around like this. And then this will fold up like this. And then rotate this vent piece up. And rotate this vent piece up. And then you close this up. And these little tabs that are on Motormaster's view, that are on Motormaster's, I want to say thigh, whatever. These little thigh tabs that would originally have these flaps tab onto it is going to accept those new, is going to tab in to this hole. and you just kind of close it up, and latch it all together. And then you proceed to fold and flip this around and have it ready to accept the combiner arms, which we already know about the friggin' shoulder issue. Flip that open, plug Blackjack in, and that's the new torso. It looks a lot better. I will definitely admit that. It looks a lot better, but yeah, I'll get into my issues with it in a second. So yeah, you already know how drag strip works. So we're just gonna flip him into arm mode real quick like. And unlike most other people who decide to do their own configurations, I actually happen to like the way Combiner Wars managed to do the combined mode, arms and legs. I quite like it. I quite enjoy it. Alright, so there he is as an arm. Let's come back here so we can get our hands. Matter of fact, let's just bring all this forward finally. And then open this up, rotate this, flip, flip, open this up, rotate this around, flip, this will plug into his hand, or this will plug into the port as his hand, and there is drag strip as an arm. Set that down, go to dead end. Dead end turns into an arm the exact same way as Prowl does. So you have that done. You rotate it at the waist, flip this up, and there's this little socket right here that the little arm piece will tab into. Right there. And then you just take this whole assembly and just kind of fold it up and then onto the back. And then you flip this piece up. And there is his arm mode, which you then proceed to plug the hand in. Yeah, I don't mind the spindly hands. I think this actually kind of works, to be completely honest. But yeah, there you go. There is dead end as an arm. Breakdown in Wild Rider, you basically just turn them back into vehicle mode. So, yeah. I kind of just pull this all the way back. Yeah, whatever. Alright, well, let's plug it. Let's fold up, plug it together, fold this up. Fold this down so that it will actually click together. Not trying to rush through this. Once you have them in leg mode, plug this giant ass foot on. Come on, plug on. There we go. There we go. Now he's a foot. Now you take him, turn him back into vehicle mode. Most of the way, that is. Basically, once again, it's a transformation we have already seen. And also, I noticed that somebody took the Wild Rider hip joints and put them on the Streetwise version of the mold to give them red thighs, and it looked good, but at the same time, why would you do that? Like, given how scarce Breakneck is as is, I don't know why you thought to do that. Anyways, moving on. Once you got those done, you then proceed to slide them on. Kind of set him back. Pull the camera up just a wee bit. And then proceed to... Now, once you slot the arms on, this is where the non-offset kicks in. If that end will freaking plug in. There we go. Now, up here... Let's see if I could get this to where you'll see it. Now, screw it up, just bring it towards the camera. Right here is kind of a bit of a tricky situation, because what you gotta do is you gotta fold these two together. So, fold these together to where these shoulder locks will plug into the fist. And that, my friends, locks that whole shoulder into place. No more loose and floppy shoulders for Motomaster. So once you see how that works, now that you've seen how that works, I'm going to proceed to just do it over here. And of course, drag strips wants to be a pain. There we go. And of course, his hand flew all the way across the room. No, I'm just kidding. Take the sword, swing him around, plug it onto the back, and there is your completely combined Motormaster, or Menasor. And I love the way this looks. I really do. I kind of am forced to have this like this, but yeah, you get the idea. This is a great look for him. You know, kind of spinning him back around like this so we can at least get a look at the new head. The new head it's different, but at the same time, it's not like I would have preferred something other than the Eternal Scream. But I'm happy that we got a somewhat G1 eccentric head instead of the friggin' Viking horns. Because let's face it, that head was dumb. And just overall, this figure he looks good. But that's where I draw my problem. He looks good. As a toy, he sucks. I had high hopes for this. I was hoping that, once I had everything in hand, I could fiddle and tweak it to get it to where it at least functions better. And I basically poured a lot of money into this. We'll just say that. If you want to know how much I poured in, go check out FMG's BC rants on this overall build. To get the final verdict on how I feel about this, but this is basically me talking about the toy. And the figure in of itself, it looks good. This looks good. There's no doubt about that. This looks fantastic. It's just that as a toy, this thing is a pain in the ass. Like, see right there. Okay, well maybe that was mostly my fault, but just, yeah. Even then, Blackjack really doesn't plug in all that well. Whether I have this Shapeways kit plugged onto him or not, he just does not stay in place. Yes, he's always drooping. The sword is too heavy for that hand, to the point where it actually loosened the connection port inside a drag strip, so now I gotta fix that. This arm wasn't functioning properly, because I mean, like, it's fine now because I fixed it. But you know, yeah. Just overall, this was a very disappointing set. I'm just gonna say that right now. As a comparison, so to speak, let's put Rodimus back on so that we can compare this set to the Prime set. The Battlecore Prime, which I have as Nova Maximus, entirely because of the fact that I put the wings on him. Yeah, there's no saving this, is it? This looks good. This looks good. This is more fun to play with. This is a pain in the ass. So taking him and moving him out of the way, and hope and pray that he does not fall over and destroy the whole setup. So overall, what do I think? If you have a love for Menasor, like me, and you want this, by all means, go after it. It's your money. Do what you wish with it. That's another thing. His knees are really, really loose, and I do not know how to fix that. But you get the picture. Me personally, I say stay away from this. But if you have a love for Menasor, give it a chance. Test it out. If you don't like it, don't keep it. Don't be like me and keep your figures just for the sheer sake of you put a lot of money into them. You know, don't be an idiot like me. Just don't be. With all this said, I think I've taken up quite a bit of your time already as is. With all that said, guys, I don't know what else to say. He's not that great. With this said, this is BC Saints Day Nerdy Geek On. I will catch you guys next time.